Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. It is 7:24 a.m. and we're heading into this segment as we start the conversation with Kameal, director of the Masjid in Lowlands, and we are speaking the holy month of Ramadan. Morning to you.
Hi, good morning, and let me greet you with the universal greeting of Assalamu Alaikum, which means peace and blessings be upon you, and good morning to all the beautiful people of Tobago.
Excellent start this morning. So as we get the conversation started, it is our understanding that the month of Ramadan would have started yesterday, correct?
Yesterday after sunset.
After sunset.
Yes.
So for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, let's start from the very basics. What is the month of Ramadan who celebrates the month of Ramadan?
Okay, so the month of Ramadan is one every month in the Islamic calendar. We have 12 months also. And the month of Ramadan is indeed a very special month. You know, it has started yesterday afternoon because the moon was sighted. We base ours on the sighting of the moon. And it was started yesterday around 6:30, month of Ramadan would have started. Ramadan is a special month because a couple of things. One, our holy book, the Quran, was sent down in the month of Ramadan. Also, as notable thing is that fasting was made compulsory during the month of Ramadan. So these two things tie with the month of Ramadan. And more important is the fasting that we have started from this morning. Our fasting has started from the break of dawn, which is like around 4:45. We had to stop eating this morning and go straight throughout the day until sunset this afternoon. And you know, the Muslim fast, it's a different fast. It's a rigorous fast where we abstain from everything: food, drink, marital relations, you know, complete food and drink throughout the entire day until sunset this afternoon. You know, other religions, you know, your fasting might be staying away from salt or staying away from water, or staying away from meat. But the Muslim fast is total abstinence.
And that is for specific people, or is that at the start of Ramadan?
Start of Ramadan,
Right.
and Ramadan will end. Ramadan is basically 29 or 30 days.
Right.
So the end of Ramadan will be the next sighting of the crescent, which is like about a month away.
Right.
So it's based on that calculation.
So the obvious question that usually comes from many, if the fasting is that rigid, how does it cater to? I mean, I'm already familiar, but share with our viewers, for those who may not be able to go to that extent for medical reasons or whatever reasons, are they catered for
Beautiful.
also as part of the fasting?
So, you know, like Islam is such a beautiful religion. It's such a simple religion. You know, it has everything that is enshrined with regards to the fasting, those who could fast and those who can't fast. So the people who, let's say, can't fast are children, small children. Normally, once you reach the age of puberty, you have to start fasting, you know. Once you are healthy, of sound mind, you can fast. Then the exemptions are for those, the old and the weak and the sick, you know, those who are insane, the pregnant mothers, you know. So there are categories of people who can't fast. Now, let's say, for instance, a healthy person who normally fasts throughout the month of Ramadan, for some day during the month of Ramadan, he has to travel on business and so on, or he is ill on that particular day, he is exempted from fasting. So that day, he's exempted from fasting, but when the month of Ramadan finishes, he have until the next Ramadan to make up for that fast, because the fasting is compulsory. So it is not something like once you miss it, you know, you just have to leave it out. When Ramadan is finished, you have to make up for it. Like, and as I said, the category of people who might be sick, who might be traveling and so on. Now, let's say, for instance, an old person, a very old person, he doesn't have to make up the fast. But what that person has to do is feed, once he can afford it, feed one poor person every single day that he is not fasting, because he's exempted from fasting.
Wow. So I want you also to tell us a little bit. We spoke about the period in terms of the start, and it's generally a 30-day period. Tell us about that connection with, Eid al-Fitr that comes on that latter.
Right. Yes. So let's say the fasting period is for 1 month, and then after that we look out for the crescent moon. Once the moon is sighted, we know that the next day we celebrate the day of Eid al-Fitr. So Eid al-Fitr culminates the end of the month of Ramadan. That is the day that you celebrate all you did throughout the month of Ramadan, all the good deeds, you know, making peace with your Creator, getting closer to your Creator. You know, there's so much of devotion, so much what you would have learned during the month of Ramadan. That Ramadan now teaches us, you know, is not only abstaining food and drink, but the spirituality behind this whole thing is that we get closer to our Creator. it makes us feel, how a person who is there, who doesn't eat for days, who is hungry and so on. So that brings you the connection. When you fast, closer to your Creator. So when the month of Ramadan finishes now, on that day of Eid, you are not allowed to fast on that day. Nobody can fast on that day because that is a day of celebration. That is a day of giving, the day of, celebrating, the day of giving charity. So many different things, giving back to the community and so on. And that day, that is one of our major day in the Islamic calendar, the day of Eid al-Fitr. When we get together, we go to the mosque and people, advise to wear their best clothes and so on, So there's so many good happening on the day of Eid al-Fitr.
Right. As we speak to this, and this was one thing I've certainly become a little bit impressed with over the years, people hear of the month of Ramadan, and Muslims coming together, praying and so on. Tell us a little bit about those efforts that go beyond just those who belong to the faith. Are the efforts to assist and to help those in need limited to those who are within the faith? Or is it an open arms to go far and wide within your community in Tobago?
Such a beautiful question because, Islam teaches us when you help people, you don't help Muslim alone, you help everybody. And I just want to give you an example. Just about 2 years ago when we had the COVID pandemic and the government was giving assistance in terms of hampers and these things, some community, they were only reaching out to their community, say, listen, we have to reach out to our community. Yes, by and large, this is good, but at the same time, you have to reach out to everybody. So at our community there in Lowlands, when we were giving out hampers, sometimes there were hundreds of people from all different backgrounds. And even, let's say, people from the Venezuelan nationals, because at that time, people weren't giving them assistance. They were saying, let us give our people first. But no, that is the wrong concept. We're supposed to help everybody in time of need. In fact, just 2 years ago, there was an Islamic organization from Trinidad that came up. And, they brought up about 500 hampers during that time. It was a program within the Muslim community of Tobago. And, we had one of the first people we reached out to was our Seventh-day Adventist brothers and sisters who we are very, very close to. And they dropped 100 hampers for them, And this shows you that, as a Muslim or even a person of any other faith, it is our duty and responsibility to reach out to everybody because we are all God's children. And this is what God teaches us, help each other and so on and things. So that's why, like a lot of things like people give out charity and so on during the month of Ramadan. And even in our community, in my community, Tobago, there are a lot of people, let's say in Tobago in general, who normally reach out to me. I know that people, they're going through a hard time and so on. So sometimes with even our little resources, we always try as best as possible to see how we could help people. Because, the Almighty Creator has blessed us tremendously with so many things. And it is incumbent upon us to always help the less in society, the needy and so on.
All right. Tell us about those time periods in terms of as you're going through Ramadan, the openness of the mosque to persons, whether it be Muslims or others who may have an interest in the faith.
Right. So in Tobago, the Muslim community has really grown throughout the years. Years ago, the Muslim community was just a handful of people, 30, 40 people. Today, we are over 300 people in Tobago. And the beauty of our community is that our community is really blessed and a mixed community. When you come there, you see half of the brothers and sisters of East Indian descent, half of the brothers and sisters of African descent. And the beauty about it is that everybody live together in such harmony because at the end, because Islam teaches that all of us are equal in the sight of God. And we have to treat everybody with kindness, respect, with love. And we must share everything over the board with everybody. Now, during the month of Ramadan, it's really, really a nice feeling, a nice atmosphere because, that's a time of camaraderie, it's a time of love, brotherhood, unity. You see every day people come to the mosque in the evening, we gather to pray and to break our fast. Breaking of the fast, which is called the iftar, that's breaking of the fast in the afternoon. And this takes place at sunset every day. When we break our fast with simple things like a date and some water. Then we say our prayer, we come back outside, we have dinner with all our brothers and sisters. There are people that normally pass through the community and so on. And we always welcome people because, as I said, that, this is something as religious people we have to do. You must always be a welcoming organization to anybody. Even last year while we were sitting one evening, the Honorable Chief Sec, he walked in and he came and joined us for iftar. And then it was, such a wonderful sight to see,
Yes.
And he spent the time with us. During the month, we have a lot of people, like government ministers, people from the Tobago House of Assembly, that they would pass through and join us just to see what's it like and to get that feeling, what we do after we break our fast. Because this month of Ramadan is an entire month, it teaches us, self-restraint. It teaches us how to become a better person. It teaches us how to connect to our Creator more closer. And at the same time, when it teaches us all these things, teaches us, like when the month of Ramadan, we have to continue. It's not only for the month of Ramadan, we have to continue being a good person. After the month of Ramadan, we have to continue doing all the good works, because the month of Ramadan is really a training ground. So that time, it's such a wonder, like when the month of Ramadan starts, right? The whole atmosphere, you feel it, it changes. The beauty about the month of Ramadan starts, so this time, this is the period of Lent. Just on Monday, I was with Dr. Boris at the Baha'i Center, where they celebrated Nowruz. So everything is happening at one time, So this is such a great thing, that all these positive things, because we live in a society now where there's seen as so much of negativity, so much of things that happen, in the world, in the society. People have so much of road rage. People, they don't have that connection. They don't have that love for each other again. That people just are thinking about themselves. But we have to understand, that so much has happened in the last couple of years. We are still here. There were so many people, hundreds of people, thousands of people who were here last year. They are not here again. They have died, that they have gone. I just give you a couple of examples. The day that the motorcyclists, I just like to send our condolences to these 3 people who have died in last week in Tobago. This is really a sad thing. When he left that morning for a beautiful ride, the family never expected that he would come back home in a coffin. When the youngster from Bishop High School, we went out to have a good time with his friend, family never expected that he would die. Just 2 days ago, on Milford Road, close to the mosque there, the gentleman who ran into the tree and the accident, and he died on his birthday. The family never expected that when he left the home. Look what happened. This is a lesson for all of us. This is a lesson for all of us to realize that our time on this earth is very, very short. We have to live our life in the best possible way. We have to live a life of caring, of loving, because right now, look what's happening in Trinidad. The road rage, the whole society, so much of murders, 600 murders for a small country. Look at what's taking place there,
Yes.
And this is something that we all have to be concerned about, because it affects us in one way or the other. So I just wanted to bring up this, just in a little way there to let people know that there is hope, but we have to turn back to our Creator. And this month, as I say, it really draws us closer to our Creator, because the amount of good deeds that we do in this month, as I say, it is a set in stone that we continue when the month of Ramadan finishes, and we must always try, as I say, to help each other and so on.
And it's a good indication, just within our conversation here alone, you're making the connections with the SDA, Seventh-day
Yes.
Adventist, Dr. Boris and the Baha'i.
Yes.
And I'm also seeing on the live Litmoy Brebner Dillon. Not sure if you're familiar with the name, indicating that what you're saying, this is a fact, because while members of our community refused to give us to share, Imam Ali gave us, we were then able to share with people in need. So it really speaks about, if we're able to get that kind of togetherness and that connection, or if we get that right, how Trinidad and Tobago and the world at large will be such a better place.
Yeah.
I can't have you on and not speak to one of the areas, that's really a standout for me in terms of learning about the faith, in terms of the pillars of Islam. I'd like you to, just share a little bit on that with us.
So Islam is based on 5 pillars. I will go through them very briefly. The first pillar is Iman. Iman means to have faith and have firm conviction there's one God. Muslims believe in one God and only one supreme God. Now, plenty of people hear the term Allah, right? So they would think that, Muslim pray to a separate God, but no, we believe in one God. Allah means one. It means one. So why we don't say God is because God could have plural terms. God, gods, goddesses. So we use the term Allah, which means one. So when a person hears somebody say Allah, it's the same God you pray to. It's just the terminology is Allah. Our second pillar is Salah, the 5-time prayer. A Muslim pray 5 times a day, every day of the year, holiday or no holiday, that is incumbent upon us, rain, sunshine, storm, anything, we pray 5 times a day. So that's the prayer. Then we have after the prayer, now we have the fasting in the month of Ramadan, which comes once a month every year. That this month that teaches us, to our connection to the Creator, to get closer to the Creator, to keep away from food, drink, and marital relations, to make us a better person and to help us to build ourselves physically, spiritually, morally, intellectually. And then now we have the Hajj pilgrimage that we go once in our lifetime to Mecca to visit the Holy Land, because that's the birthplace of Islam, you know. So the Hajj is, now when people go to Hajj, right, and they see this black thing, a lot of people sometimes think that we pray to that. We don't pray to that. That was the first mosque in the time of Abraham.
Oh.
So everybody can't get into that. So what we do, we pray around it. That's where Islam started, you know. So people have this thing to say, but look, all this prayer, we don't, that is just a symbol that where Islam has started, you know. So this is the five pillars that, you know, constitute making up of Islam. And, you know, like I said that, you know, one thing I would like to mention also that in Tobago, you know, the Interreligious Committee is a very unique and close-knit body. You know, I'm very close with my dear brother, Wilfred Devines from Seventh-day Adventist, Dr. Elizabeth Boris, you know, Ms. Bipat from the Hindu Society, you know, Father Leslie Tangai from Roman Catholic, Bishop Dillon from the Baptist and so on. We all attend each other's functions. We all attend each other's activities. You know, plenty of people have this concept that, you know, because, you know, I'm a Muslim or I belong to this faith, I mustn't go to that person. That's wrong. We are all God's creation. We are all created from the same God. We have to go back to the same. We have to go back to the same God, because in Islam we believe in life after that. That we have to go back to our Creator one day. So, as I said, you know, we live in a unique island which is called Tobago, and those of us who are living here, we are truly blessed and truly fortunate to be living on an island like this. You know, just imagine if we were born in Syria or one of these countries where there's so much of war and so much of famine and so much atrocities. Look where we're living. But you know, a lot of time, you know what happened? We take things for granted, and we take the people around us for granted. And this is something that, you know, in our lives, what we must do is that never take each other for granted, because tomorrow is never promised. We might be sitting down here talking, well, I don't know if we would live for this afternoon, if we would live for tomorrow. So, you know, my message is that, you know, let us all try to live together as one. Let us put aside our differences. Let us, you know, work together for the betterment of our society. Let us see what we can contribute to our society. And one thing I would like to add, you know, a part that we are discussing Ramadan and so on, is that, you know, one thing is that I have always advocated in Tobago. Two things, in fact. One is for recycling the plastic bottles and so on, which we have a big recycling bin at Lowlands where people bring their plastic bottles and they come and collect. We do that in a very large way. And I think that it helps the environment. And secondly, welfare of animals. In Tobago, I think this is a serious problem that, you know, many times, you know, I don't mean to offend anybody. We hear about a lot of animals being poisoned and killed and so on. I just wanted to let people know we would have to account for these things. You know, you know, like, you know, Mahatma Gandhi said in the civil, you can judge a nation, the greatness of a nation, based on how you treat your animals. You know, and I mean, the animal shelter is doing a lot. They could do only certain, but we have to do our part. And you know, like, you know, sometimes we might think that dogs and cats something as a nuisance, but what we have to remember, they are a creation from the Almighty, and we have to, the same way we have to treat each other with love, respect, and kindness, is the same way we have to treat our animals with respect, love, and kindness, because in Islam, animals are very, you know, you have to treat them in a humane sense, you know. And I know that sometimes, a lot of time, people, you know, that, you know, when they get annoyed or the animals might come and boost up, they poison. We should not do these things. So I just wanted, on a point, to just bring it out so that people can be more conscious and be more aware, because Islam teaches us that, you know, when you need to bring out something, or people need to know, you must speak about it so people can be more conscious and more aware.
Right. I've also, as I heard you reference the other faiths as well.
Yes.
I know that you're one of the committee members.
Of the Tobago,
yes.
I'm also a member of the Tobago Faith-Based Council, which was for my Tobago House of Assembly last year.
Tell us a little bit about that. Would have been an initiative introduced by the Tobago House of Assembly, as you said, last year, under Secretary Terence Baines, for the Division of Community Development, Youth Development, and Sport, as one of, I suppose, naturally based on his background as a pastor, recognizing that even with the many efforts that we may make in a society, if we don't go back to our very foundation, which is something very essential in the Tobago area, especially, no matter which religion you belong to. Tell us a little bit about that experience working together.
So this initiative was really, really a great initiative, and I must commend and congratulate the Tobago House of Assembly, and more so Pastor Terence Bain, because this is something visionary. When one analyzes faith-based organization in Tobago, it's the largest group of people are the religious people in Tobago, religious body in Tobago. So Pastor Baines, his vision was to form, just as how you have state entity, to form what you call a Tobago Faith-Based Council. Our chairman is Bishop Sheldon Holer, who is doing a really good job. In fact, tomorrow we have a meeting. We normally meet at the community development. This council was formed. The main idea behind this council was to form it to assist organization with funding and otherwise other resources. We know that resources are limited in Tobago. So very soon, because right now they're just putting together some guidelines and so on and just finishing up something. But the council is active. We have been meeting for the past year, trying to formulate plans and how we're going to execute these things, how we're going to help different organizations, because this is to help all religious organizations in Tobago in terms of funding for their churches, for their temples, for their mosques, for anything at all. Because, one time for election and time for so many things, we know that people come to you, So what is so that we must not only go to the faith-based organization at this time, at convenient time, we must try, to help them. And the main idea was this, was that the faith-based council would work together to help all these organizations so that they could develop and build. Because any organization that you look at, it takes a lot of resources and a lot of money to run these organizations. Charity, bills, expenses, stipend that you might pay to the religious leaders and so on. No, these monies have to come from somewhere. And we know that people, they normally donate money and so on and right? But at the same time now, we know that the economic times, it's not like before. It's a more difficult time. So people don't give, even in August, they don't give as before. So you have to look at probably trying to do your own fundraisers and so on and things. So the Tobago Faith-Based Council, their mission is to assist and to make people's lives better in Tobago over the board, right through, all the faith-based organizations to help and to assist in any way they could possibly can.
And from quite simply just hearing you here as we start and we speak in relation to Ramadan,
yes.
You get the clear sense that this relation over the last year has little been working for, because it now positions, churches and, all institutions in terms of with that focus on faith to be able to give back
yes.
and to assist in some way, form or fashion. What would be your message for persons who have an interest in the Muslim faith? You're not as familiar. There's probably many chatters in corners, perhaps giving you that kind of misconception. The method for really having an understanding and then making that decision to get involved. Tell us how can one who's listening on, it piques your interest. You've been listening to it for some time,
yeah.
But you're wondering, is it that I have to just run on in? Do I get a time period to better understand?
Right.
I want you to speak to our viewers and listeners.
Wonderful. So, Islam, even though Islam is probably the most misunderstood religion in the world, it's the fastest growing religion in the world right now with 1.7 billion Muslims. If you were to, you don't have to think about it, if you just, Google up or check on most of the stars recently, we're talking about prominent stars, Shaquille O'Neal, Mike Tyson, and so many, a lot of them have been accepting Islam. Because when you once really study Islam and they really dig deep into it, they would see Islam is really a beautiful and peaceful religion. No, like in other religion, 1.7 billion people, a few people who do acts of terrorism and so on, you don't castigate the entire religion because of these people. In any religion, you'll always find those who have their own interpretation and so on and things. But when you look at Islam in the whole, it's really, really a beautiful religion. Now, for those persons who would like to really know what Islam, they can Google up on the computer. There's tons of information, basic understanding of Islam and so on. Those who are in Tobago, a lot of people contact me because I'm always at the masjid there. My number 680-1414. That people could call me. We have literatures, we have pamphlets. Sometimes we sit with them because people always have an interest. They want to know, and it is very important that you sit with people, and so that they will understand. And people sometimes, as I say, they really have a misunderstanding because of that. The wrong information might spread out there, right. And it's your duty. Okay, there's a few things I will share with you this morning, and people might be. I was telling somebody recently, and people might be amazed. As a Muslim, some of your basic beliefs, you must believe in only on one creator. As a Muslim, we believe in the day of judgment. We don't believe heaven and hell is right, or we believe that there's life after that. Because you can't be such a bad person and murdering people, doing so much atrocities and so on, and don't expect to get away scot-free with that. You might get away in this world, but you have to meet the maker one day where you have to account for everything. Also, we believe in Jesus Christ. As a Muslim, you must believe in Jesus Christ. But we believe in Jesus Christ, that he was sent on this earth as a messenger, as a Messiah. We believe in Jesus Christ coming back. We believe in Jesus Christ coming back to fulfill certain prophecies and so on. We believe that Jesus Christ is with Almighty God in heavens. So when people hear this, they say, Jesus is mentioned in the Quran more than Prophet Muhammad. That's how much we revere Jesus, We believe in Abraham, we believe in Moses, we believe in all the prophets. And as I said that, we believe in his coming back. So, people, they do have a lot of questions. So they might ask, they might see something, they mightn't understand. And people are free to call me anytime. As I say, I'm on WhatsApp, they can go Google up my name and they will see come up for any information. But now we are so fortunate to have those devices.
Yes.
They could give us everything. And you have some really wonderful scholars who will explain to you, what this religion is about and so many different things. And this is one way and one method. And as I say, anytime, I'm accessible, people can contact me anytime.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And when you get into this conversation, you get so engaged, but we're just out of time this morning. But certainly bringing the information here. And thank you so much for joining us here on set. Kameal Ali, Director of the Masjid located in Lowlands, as we speak to the holy month of Ramadan and looking at that very broader perspective and responsibility in terms of, being a faith-based organization, certainly sending a clear signal of working together. And we look forward to other aspects of the society taking on, that similar fashion as we really seek to improve things here in our island, our country, our region, and the world at large. The change and the difference and a positive impact starts with each and every one of us taking that individual responsibility. So once again, viewers, we want to thank you so much, those of you joining us via TV, those listening in on the radio, online with us this morning, Whitfield, Denisha, Godfrey, Darky in the mix this morning, Carol Fraser Davidson, Listra, Belford, Pearl Murray Beard, thank you so much to each and every one of you. Lisa James, Kuki Melville, loyal supporters, we thank you so much for continuing to tune in to the Tobago Updates morning show and to remind each and every one of you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.